responsibility for examinations and your team, to all of my colleagues in the Ministry of Education, to members of the press, a pleasant good afternoon. The national examinations are purposefully structured to affirm and celebrate positive academic achievement across a spectrum of learner profiles, recognizing diverse competencies rather than emphasizing comparative deficits. Beyond their evaluative function, these assessments serve as instruments of matriculation and employment eligibility, while simultaneously generating data of strategic value for policymakers, educational leaders, school administrators, and other stakeholders engaged in national development. It is important to underscore that the primary objective of this report is not to rank or rate educational institutions. Rather, it is intended to offer empirically grounded insights that inform strategic planning, targeted remediation, and the optimized deployment of both human and infrastructural resources within the education sector. We acknowledge the profound influence that public examination outcomes exert on the trajectory of national education systems. Accordingly, the design and implementation of the national examinations are guided by a dual imperative to ensure contextual relevance to the Bahamian educational landscape and to uphold rigorous standards that are commensurate with internationally recognized benchmarks. These standards remain consistent with those of external examination bodies whose credibility has been sustained for over 8 decades. The 2025 Bahamas Junior Certificate Examination Report. The year 2025 marks the 32nd sitting of the Bahamas Junior Certificate Examination since its reintroduction in 1994. 10,478 candidates from 123 centers were registered to sit the examination. 54 were government schools, while 69 centers were independent or private. The number of candidates represents a decrease of 2.94% when compared to 2024, which had a total of 10,795 candidates from a total of 127 centers. The total number of subjects offered is 13. The total number of grades awarded in 2025 was 37,220 when compared to 2024, which was 39,455 candidates. Again this year, mathematics and English language were the two most heavily subscribed subjects. An analysis of subject performance across the 2025 national examinations reveals that all assessed disciplines attained cumulative achievement rates of 50% or higher within grades A to D, indicating a baseline of academic proficiency across the board. Notably, subjects such as art, literature, craft, social studies, family and consumer science, and technical drawing demonstrated particularly strong outcomes, with a significant proportion of candidates achieving within the 80 to 100% range. English language and technical drawing exhibited measurable improvement relative to the previous year, while general science reflected a slight decline in performance. Core subjects including mathematics, religious studies, health science, which saw an improvement due to increases at B to D, French, and Spanish maintained stable distributions, predominantly within the 60 to 79% range. These results suggest a broadly consistent level of academic attainment. A comparative analysis of males and females, their performances across the 2024 and 2025 national examinations reveal slight declines in the A to B passes, but slight increases at grade C, suggesting a modest centralization of achievement. Notably, while female performance at grade D declined, male performance in this category improved, indicating a differential trend in mid-tier attainment. 3,392 students elected to sit 5 or more subjects in a single examination session. This represented 32.37%. Of that number, 1,316 candidates, or 38.80%, attained a minimum of grade C in at least 5 subjects, while 1,788 candidates, or 52.71%, achieved a minimum grade of D across the same threshold. Furthermore, 1,251 candidates, or 36.88%, achieved at least a grade C in the core subjects of mathematics, English language, and a science discipline. It is important to note, however, that these statistics reflect only those candidates who sat all subjects within a single session. Given the ministry's encouragement of multi-year subject distribution, a significant portion of candidates possessing equivalent qualifications may not be captured within this reporting framework. As such, the data should be interpreted as a snapshot of annual performance rather than a comprehensive representation of cumulative achievement. Centers that have improved in grade point average when compared to 2024: Abaco Private, Forest Heights Academy, Sherlin C. Boodle High, Smith's Memorial, Central Andros Private, Mangrove Key High, Louise McDonald High, Central Eleuthera High, Preston Albury High, Windermere High, NGM Major High, Bishop Michael Eldon High, 8 Mile Rock High, Freeport Private, Jack Hayward Junior High, Mary Starr of the Sea Catholic Academy, St. George's High, Tabernacle Baptist. In New Providence, A.F. Adderley, Aquinas College, Atlantic College, D.W. Davis, Discovery Learning, Freedom Baptist Academy, Government High, the Home School Association, Mount Carmel Preparatory, Nassau Private, Noble Preparatory, Pace, Queens College, S.C. McPherson Junior High, Simpson Penn, William Pratt, St. Andrews High School, St. Augustine's College, Telios Christian School, the Leadership Academy, and San Salvador High School. BGCSE. The year 2025 marks the 33rd administration of the Bahamas General Certificate of Secondary Education Examination, first introduced in 1993. This national assessment serves as a culminating measure of student learning, designed to evaluate what candidates know, understand, and are able to demonstrate upon completion of a prescribed 3-year course of study. The grades awarded are intended to reflect academic achievement and potential, rather than to serve as definitive judgments of individual worth. It is essential to acknowledge that candidate performance is influenced by a constellation of factors, both intrinsic and extrinsic to the formal education system, which may impede optimal outcomes and should be considered in any evaluative review of the results. In 2025, a total of 6,103 candidates from 108 examination centers were registered to sit the BGCSE, comprising 41 government schools and 67 independent or private institutions. This figure represents a 2.85% increase over the 2024 cohort, which included 5,934 candidates across 107 centers. The examination encompassed 27 subject offerings, each with distinct assessment modalities tailored to disciplinary standards. Despite the increase in candidate registration, the total number of grades awarded declined slightly, with 20,595 grades issued in 2025, a marginal decrease of 10% compared to the 20,616 grades awarded in 2024. This reduction is attributable to a lower average number of subjects sat per candidate, underscoring the importance of interpreting grade data within the broader context of examination participation patterns. Overall performance. The 2025 Bahamas General Certificate of Secondary Education examination continues to demonstrate alignment with its foundational objective to assess and certify the academic achievement of at least 80% of 12th grade students. A closer examination of subject-specific performance within the A to D grade bands reveals notable distinctions. Subjects such as art and design, auto mechanics, carpentry and joinery, food and nutrition, geography, literature, and music achieved cumulative performance rates of 90% or higher, reflecting exceptional levels of mastery. English language, chemistry, French, history, physics, religious studies, and graphical communication also performed strongly, with cumulative achievement rates ranging from 80 to 89%, several of which, such as electrical installation, physics, religious studies, and graphical communication, registered year-over-year improvements. Food and nutrition, physics, history, and geography saw the highest rate of increase in the last 10 years. Subjects within the 70 to 79% and the 60 to 69% bands, including combined science, commerce, economics, clothing, construction and craft, and keyboarding skills, reflect moderate performance, though some, such as keyboarding skills, office procedures, and Spanish, exhibited declines relative to the previous year. Conversely, biology, bookkeeping and accounts, and mathematics fell below the 50% threshold in cumulative A to D performance. Mathematics in particular, which is foundational to both academic progression and workforce readiness, has seen a decline. Taken together, the data suggests that while the BGCSE continues to fulfill its mandate of broad accessibility and achievement, differentiated subject outcomes highlight the need for ongoing curricular refinement, instructional support, and performance monitoring, particularly in disciplines critical to national development and post-secondary pathways, such as mathematics. A comparative analysis of female to male performance in 2024 and 2025 reveals that the upper performance bands, A to D, both male and female candidates demonstrated improvements at grade B. Notably, male candidates registered a slight increase again this year, I think, at grade A, while female candidates experienced a marginal decrease, suggesting a narrowing of the gender gap at the highest level of achievement. Of the 6,103 registered candidates, 1,684, or 27.59%, sat 5 or more subjects in a single session. Among those who sat 5 or more subjects, 37.23% attained a minimum of 5 grades at C or above, while 57.60% achieved at least 5 grades at D or above. These figures suggest that the majority of candidates met the broader threshold of academic competence. Furthermore, 22.27% secured at least a grade C in the core subjects of mathematics, English language, and a science. Again, it is important to note that these statistics do not reflect the full academic profile of all candidates, particularly those who distribute their subject load across multiple years. As such, while the data provides a snapshot of performance within a single examination cycle, it does not capture longitudinal achievement or the strategic pathways many candidates pursue to optimize outcomes. This underscores the need for more reporting mechanisms that recognize cumulative attainment and support a more holistic understanding of national educational progress. Centers that have an increase in overall grade point average when compared to 2024 include Agape Christian School, Sherlin C. Boodle High, Central Andros High School, Central Andros Private, Gateway Christian Academy, Arthurstown High, Old Bight High, Central Eleuthera High, Eleuthera Private, Harbor Island All Age, North Eleuthera High, Preston Albury High, Samuel Guy Pinder All Age, Windermere High, St. Andrew's Anglican School in Exuma, Alpha and Omega Christian School, Grand Bahama Academy of the SDA, Mary Star of the Sea Catholic High, Lucaya International, St. Paul's Methodist College, North Long Island High, in New Providence, Bahamas Academy, Bahamas Global Academy, C.C. Sweeting High, C.W. Saunders Baptist High, Discovery Learning, DPS Training Center, Genesis Academy, the Homeschool Association, Hope Academy, Jordan Prince Williams Baptist, Mount Carmel Preparatory, Nassau Private, New Providence Classical, Pace, Queens College, San Pedro International, St. Augustine's College, Tamberley School, and San Salvador High in San Salvador. Special acknowledgements are extended to Assistant Director of Education, Donette Ferguson, and the entire examination and assessment staff for your steadfast leadership. To the markers and consultant Sarita Clark for ensuring an exam cycle free of any major irregularities. To all of our educators who diligently prepared students for success, including school administrators, exam supervisors, and invigilators, for your commitment to the smooth administration of these examinations. To our parents and guardians for your unwavering support throughout the process. And to the communications section for your coordination and facilitation of this press conference, I say thank you. Thank you to all of you for your collective dedication and your professionalism. And thank you all. I now bring on the Honorable Glenys Hanna Martin with remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Don't get up, please. I won't be long because I think the director said it all. She's given the technical report of the results. I just want to say a couple things and to say that what we heard, what is in fact a snapshot of performance. And clearly we learned from these results, there are still areas that we have to work on in this in our student population. And the ministry is tracking, monitoring, and analyzing these national results. And we're also looking at global trends in similar exams. And we see some parallels. We know the pandemic had an impact. Students were locked out of face-to-face instruction for 2 years. The research globally shows learning loss. But what we are seeing in these results is resiliency, because our children are showing up, they're taking the examinations. And we are on the route to recovery. We're confident of this. We've implemented a number of strategies, particularly the primary school level, to enhance student well-being and interventions at the older students to cause for our young people and children to catch up. We put a focus on literacy and numeracy. Literacy and numeracy. We have completed a math study, which has helped us to understand what alignments we have to do with our curriculum, with our materials, with the instruction. So we are now armed with empirical advice based on empirical evidence on what we need to do in terms of mathematics. We've revised the curricula. We have the first time in history for the first time in 40 years. Geography is being revised. We're putting a stronger focus on science, technical studies, because these exams do not necessarily reflect the full blossom and strength of the talent of our young people. And so the Bahamas Polytechnic and Accreditation and Training Hub on Wolf Road, which is under construction, is going to be that space where young people can go and refine their skills in the technical studies. And we're bringing legitimacy and credit to technical studies because that's the way of the world. It's how the economy works. And so the ministry is seeking stronger relevance to our economy and to the way in which global realities are shifting. So we are confident we are on the right track, and it may take a while to see what we'd like to see ultimately, but we believe we're seeing some light that is giving us great encouragement. I want to thank Examinations Division, ADE Ferguson, and her entire team who are here. Could y'all please stand, ladies? This is, please give these people a round of applause. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of our educators throughout the length and breadth of this country who are working very hard, and in the islands, throughout the islands, and including in this building, and outside of this building, in the ministry. And we believe that we're going to begin to see some shifts. But the work is underway. The work is underway, and we're confident that we will yield the results that we seek in our efforts. Thank you so much.